Hi, it's Joe Mazumdar from Exploration Insights back at the Metal Investment Forum in Vancouver, and now I have the CEO for Fireweed Zinc.
Good to see you, Joe.
Brandon Macdonald. And Brandon, you've just recently, I guess in the throes of closing down your summer program.
Yep.
So I guess my first question is like, I was up at site around the time where you were beginning the program prior to getting the drills in. Mm-hmm. So I guess from our perspective, what were you expecting to accomplish from the summer program, and now that it's over, what have you achieved? And going on, what should we expect going forward in terms of results coming out of the summer program?
Yeah, so we set some ambitions for ourselves when we went out this summer. It was meant to be a combination of infill drilling, step outs, and some exploration. We accomplished a little bit of all those things, but we tweaked the ratio a bit. So, with some attention to the market conditions, we dialed back on the infill. It's not that infill is not important. It has to get done eventually. You need that certainty as you progress. But we felt the market was more receptive to step out. So we spent a little more time doing that. We invested a little more energy into the regional exploration. So we did 20 holes total for about 5,500 meters. We were hoping for 8,000 plus at the beginning of summer, but we decided that maybe preserving capital right now made a little more sense than going crazy. And we're pretty happy with the way things look. So we put out our first and only hole that we've got back so far last week, and it looked pretty good.
So, let's say if there's a three-pronged drilling program or plus exploration upside, the impression we get it about Fireweed is that there's one component about it is the de-risking of not only the resource but infrastructure, which is a separate issue.
Yeah.
And then there's the other thing about finding more upside, the low-hanging fruit around the known, and then potentially finding something unknown.
Yeah.
And the infill, I guess, if we go on to that, benefits potential suitors to know that the high grade has continuity, and the parts in your PEA that was released earlier this year hang together, and that's where the payback is. Is that right?
Yeah, and I think that I've said this before, that de-risking probably improves your chance of a partnership or takeout, but the exploring the upside may improve the price of that partnership or takeout. So it's that balance. It's like, what is the minimum amount of de-risking I need to do to get someone over the line to join forces with me? And with that in mind, how do I then also concentrate energy on making sure that's at the most appealing terms possible for my shareholders?
Right, and I believe, don't too much into the de-risking on the resource of the high grade, but the objectives, as I understand it, is that you want to hit the stuff that's within the payback period of the PEA, but also there's some drilling within it that had poor recoveries that you want to see if you can upgrade what's known.
Yep.
And then there's also the issue about geotechnical holes, because you do have some open pit resources initially, that hopefully if you could change the angle of the pit, you can lower the waste and potentially get more ore out. So is that's still a continuing theme?
Yeah, and we did a lot of that. There was a lot of geotechnical and asset base accounting and what have you this summer that perhaps doesn't resonate with the average investor, but would resonate in a hurry when they see the implications of that, if it all comes out favorably.
Or with a suitor that would get it more quickly.
Because they don't want to, when a PEA is loose, right? That's the reality. You're working on a study on limited data. If you have limited data, you put together the best study you can, but at the end of the day, your suitors are going to want to see, okay, where's the biggest risks and opportunities, and focus your data on there. The areas that the economics are not sensitive to, you probably don't need to go crazy on the de-risking now, but the areas definitely that there is high sensitivities, you should spend some time on.
And the other issue was step outs on the known deposits. So some of the drill testing was at Tom East, Tom West, Jason South, Maine.
Yeah.
And those are testing theories, I gather.
Yeah, and so our hole that we announced last week at Tom East, we were looking to step that out at depth. It looks like there's a bit of a kink, or at least some form of structural complexity there. but we hit 16 meters intersected width, somewhere between 5 and 12 meters true width. That's obviously a wide range, but that's the structural complexity we're not yet sure of. But 21% zinc, 13.5% lead, 240 grams silver. It's a tremendously high grade hit. So for a step out, very promising. And then on the Tom West side, we had some step outs that hit a fault, which we knew was there, but we didn't know exactly where. Some that did not, right? So, but that's the game, right? If you're just taking the safe hits, you're not gonna, the upside's not there.
But then also, there was a prospect that I visited, End Zone,
Yep.
which had a few holes. I saw some trenching, some high-grade rocks that you could still see in those trenches. You drilled a few holes there as well.
Yeah, so there'd only been 4 holes in End Zone this year prior to us going, so we went out there and drilled another 4 in there, and then another nearby prospect. 4 of those 5 holes have been sent away for assay because we visibly could see that there was a zone hit, and we're eagerly awaiting the results. And I think that End Zone is not just a zone unto itself, but it's a demonstration of the thesis that there are more of these systems in our property area.
Yeah, because you've got quite a big land package,
Yeah.
and you tend to be focused on the known deposits, or previous exploration has been very focused on the known.
Yeah, you don't want to take your eye off the ball of what you have, but at the same time, you got to maybe cast your eyes to the horizon and think about what upside there might be.
But also in that respect, I mean, talking to one of your geologists, Jack Milton, about what you guys have been doing with the soils, soil hydrocarbons, looking for new deposits potentially undercover.
Yeah.
And also doing a combination of seismic and gravity to try and look for new drill targets.
Yeah.
That because people focused on what was exposed and what was readily available.
Yeah, yeah. So Tom and Jason either outcrop or subcrop. So you wouldn't say the discovery was necessarily easy. Tom, it was easy because it just outcrops. You can kind of follow the sulfide terrain, But now we're looking for what's buried, and exactly like you said, the soil gas hydrocarbons, the seismic, the gravity, all this stuff's going to play into what we hope is additional discoveries.
Okay, so now going forward for a potential investor like us, that we already own Fireweed, what should we expect going forward in the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, in the short term, it's going to be the continued release of our results. We have drilled 20 holes, like I said, 15 were sent away for assays. We're waiting on 14 of them now because we've only released 1, so that should be exciting. I think we're going to see, we'll firm up the geophysics we did and really put out an exploration post or two, that kind of discusses what we're seeing there. And then I think coming into the new year, it's going to be putting it to a cohesive package to really paint the bigger picture.
So when do you think that you would look for a partner, or do you think that as Fireweed you need to advance it by yourselves more to add value prior to seeking a partner?
There's an optimum point to seek a partnership because sometimes you just grow the company by accretion rather than share price growth. I think for any given company, it's hard to know what that inflection point is without the benefit of hindsight. So we are perpetually seeking partnerships because maybe now is the right time. Maybe now is not the right time. Obviously, if we made a massive discovery next season, you'd be feeling a bit sheepish if you made the partnership before that, right? But what if you don't, right? Or what if the partnership's on great terms? What if that gives you a big bounce? So you can play a lot of what ifs. So we always have to entertain offers.
Okay, well, thank you very
Thank you very much.
Brandon. That's it. Joe Mazumdar, Exploration Insights, Metal Investment Forum with the CEO of Fireweed Zinc, Brandon Macdonald. Thank you very much.